Audi TT Mk1 front seat removal, testing and refitting.
Hi all, Andy here and welcome back to the channel, where today I am covering seat removal in the Roadster. If you've not already done so, please check out the content on my channel which covers the Audi TT. Why would you take your seats out? They could be ripped or damaged. You could be replacing them for a new set. My reason, the handle that puts the seat up and down seems to have broken. So I want to take the seat out of the car where I can take a look at the mechanism. The good thing about having a Roadster is it gives you plenty more room to work to get the seat out. You're not wrestling it through the door. Right, no messing, let's get started.
First things first, and a really important warning here. You must disconnect the battery from the car before undertaking this. The last thing you want to do is inadvertently trigger the airbags, so pop the bonnet and remove the negative connection. The good news about the seat removal is that there are simply 4 bolts holding the seat in place, 2 at the front and 2 at the back. The Roadster and Coupe seats have the same mechanisms also. This applies to sliding the seats, adjusting the position and flipping the seat back forward to let passengers out. Not that you can actually get anyone in the back of a Roadster. Starting at the front of the seat, there are 2 plastic ends to the seat rails. To prise these off, I used a bite tyre lever and worked around the plastic ends to loosen them. They eventually slid off. They tend to be compressed into the carpet slightly due to the time they've been in place, so just lift around them. There is an obvious left and right, or door side and radio side to the clips, with this raised lip being on the outer edge of the rails when refitting. Sliding the seat back as far as it will go will expose the 2 H8 Hex H8 Bolts that need to be removed from the front of the rails. These seem to be screwed in at a 45-degree angle, so use a ratchet and a socket bit if you have one. Once the initial thread seal is broken, they seem to unscrew fairly easily. One of my top tips is to make up a piece of card labelling where each bolt goes. It keeps them safe during the removal and refitting process. It also ensures you put the right bolt back in the right hole, minimising cross-threading chances. Next, pull the lever at the front of the seat and slide it as far forward as it will possibly go, and fold the rear of the seat as if to access the back of the car. This should expose the 2 remaining bolts holding the rear of the seat rails to the floor. Again, it's H8 hex bolts and they come out fairly easily. Store them in the cardboard holder for safekeeping. Your seat is now free from the hardware and it is only the wiring loom holding them in place. So give the seat a wiggle to free it completely and then tilt the seat backwards to access the underneath of the bolster. Here you will find the 2 wiring plugs that supply the electrics to the base, such as the heating element and airbag. The green plug can be released using the tyre lever to unclip the securing clips either side of the plugs and slide it out. The yellow plug needs a screwdriver to press down the purple clip to release it from its socket. Once both are removed, pull the loom securing plug out of the seat base and this completes the severing of connections to the car. All you need to do now is carefully lift it out of the cabin. With the seat in the kitchen, I can lie it down and get a good look at the mechanisms. Although the sliding mechanism is working fine on this seat, I decided to take it apart to look at the controls and investigate how it all hinges together. There is a leaf spring securing the plastic holder in place that acts as the hinge point for lifting the locking pins in the seat rails. My handle would push past its correct position, so I prized out this white plastic stop end and dismantled the plastic holder. I then repositioned the holder into the right place on the hinge that locks the locking pins and reattached the white stop end. Finally, I secured this with the leaf spring. The bit I am interested in fixing is the seat height adjustment. On closer inspection, the plastic handle is not broken and I can clearly see it is pulling the cable and actuating the piston mechanism on the end of the gas strut or shock absorber. However, the strut is not moving at all, so I think the strut has failed. It looks like a common problem for these struts and they're not very strong. I did not have a spare one, and looking online, the part number, which is 8N088177A, costs around £140 new. That's an awful lot of money for this. I think I could pick up a second-hand seat cheaper than that. And now that I have identified the issue, I will look to purchase a working second-hand strut for a much lower price and swap this out in the future. For now though, I will reassemble this in the car so it is usable once more. With the seat out of the car, it gives me an opportunity to vacuum where I cannot normally reach. Refitting the seat is the reverse of removal. Plug the electrical connectors in first, along with the loom connector. Reinsert the 2 rear H8 bolts to the seat rails first, and I did these finger tight to start. Then slide the seat back and insert the front 2 bolts. It's important to get it all lined up and finger tight so you have a bit of movement in the seat to get all bolts lined up. Now one by one, tighten the bolts to the correct force with a torque wrench set to 23 Newton meters or 17 foot-pounds. Once all complete, slide the plastic covers over the front of the seat rails. All that is left to do is reattach the battery and you are done.
So that was a fairly painless removal and refitting of the Audi TT front seats. The good news is there's nothing snaps off. The bad news is that gas strut has definitely failed and is stopping the seat rising and falling. I am going to replace that in a future video. If you have found today's content useful, please do give it a thumbs up. Also think about subscribing to the channel for more content on the Audi TT, where you'll find a whole host of maintenance videos. Thanks again for watching and see you soon. Take care.